Hello, parents. Let's talk about something that is probably on your mind a lot these days: academics and activities. You want your child to do well in school. You want them to find their spark, discover what they love, and build foundations that will open doors. And in the middle of all that, you're also trying to keep them balanced, happy, and healthy. It is a lot to hold. And here is what I want you to hear right at the start. Middle school academics and extracurriculars are not about perfection. They are not about stacking achievements for college applications. They are about something far more important: building habits, discovering interests, and learning how to learn. The skills your child develops during 6th, 7th, and 8th grade: how they study, how they manage their time, and how they handle a difficult teacher, how they show up for a team, how they process a losing match. These skills will shape everything that comes after. So let us talk about what actually matters during these formative years. And let us talk about how you, as a parent, can support your child without adding pressure and, most importantly, without taking over. So here is first skill: active reading and text comprehension. You would say, but our children have been doing this for quite some time. But there is a difference. The first and the most fundamental academic skill is active reading. Many middle schoolers read words on a page, but they are not truly engaging with the text. They are not thinking about what they are reading. They are not asking questions, or they are not connecting ideas. And then that becomes passive reading, leading to poor comprehension and weak retention. Active reading is a skill that can be taught and that must be taught. And here are specific strategies your child needs to learn. Previewing the text. Before reading, teach your child to skim headings, subheadings, bold words, images, and summary questions. This helps create a mental map, activates prior knowledge, and sets a purpose for reading. Next is annotating. This means writing directly on the text or on a sticky note if you're using any library book. Teach your child to underline key ideas, circle unfamiliar vocabulary, put question marks next to confusing passages, and write brief margin notes summarizing what they just read. They can do it all on sticky notes if they don't want to mess their books. This keeps their brain engaged and creates a record of their thinking. Asking questions while reading. Encourage your child to pause after each paragraph and ask, what was the main idea? What did I just learn? What do I still not understand? This habit of self questioning dramatically improves comprehension. Summarizing in their own words. After finishing a section, have your child close the book and say or write a brief summary. If they cannot do this, they need to reread the passage. This is the best test of true understanding. And your role here is to teach and model these strategies. When you read together, whether an article or a recipe or instructions, talk aloud about what you are noticing, questioning, and summarizing. Show your child that reading is an active conversation with the text. As they grow older, the text is going to become longer and complex, and the questions are also going to become complex. These skills, when they become a habit, will make learning easier. Skill number 2: research-based study strategy. Many middle schoolers study by rereading their notes or highlighting textbooks. These are among the least effective methods. They feel productive but do little to build lasting understanding. And here are the specific backed strategies your child needs to learn. Retrieval practice. This is the most powerful study technique. Teach your child to close the book and write down everything they remember about a topic. Then check their notes and see what they missed. The active recall strengthens neural pathways and builds long term memory. Flashcards are a classic form of retrieval practice. Spaced practice. Instead of studying for 3 hours the night before the test, your child studies for 20 minutes every single day over a week. This spacing allows the brain to consolidate memory between sessions, leading to much stronger retention. Interleaving. This means mixing up different types of problems or subjects during a study session. If you are studying for a math test, they should definitely not do all similar kind of problems. They should mix it up. This feels harder in the moment, but it forces the brain to distinguish between the problem types, leading to deeper understanding, mimicking the exact exam situation when it will be different questions or different types of problems that would be listed in your test paper. Elaborative interrogation. This is the habit of asking why and how questions while studying. Instead of memorizing that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, your child asks, why is this called the powerhouse? How does it produce energy? This deep processing of whys and hows leads to better understanding and retention. And self-testing. Teach your child to give themselves practice quizzes. Use textbook review questions. Write your answers. Use online resources or create more questions, but definitely practice writing. Most children have never been told how to study effectively. They have just been told to study. They assume that means rereading or by-hearting parts of passages. Show them these alternatives. Practice them together. Then step back and let them take the ownership. Third, this skill is something that teachers will start expecting students are following in the classroom. Note taking and organization. Middle school is often the first time your child is expected to take notes independently from lectures, textbooks, or videos. Many kids do not know how to do this effectively. It is not taught. They either try to write down every word, it's impossible, or they write almost nothing, which is unhelpful. But there are several effective note taking methods. Help your child experiment and find what works for them. Build those templates. The most successful one is the Cornell method. Your child divides their paper into 3 sections. The right column is for the detailed notes during the class. The left column, about 2.5 inches wide, is for key questions or main ideas that you write after the class. And the bottom section is a brief summary of the entire page. You can build this template in their notebook. This structure forces processing and review, which strengthens memory. Outlining. This means organizing your notes in a sequential manner with main topics at the top and supporting details indented beneath. This works well for subjects with clear structures like history or science. Mind mapping, a visual approach. Your child writes the main topic in the center, draws branches outward for subtopics with supporting details on smaller branches. This helps visual learners, helps them connect between the ideas. Whichever method they choose, encourage them to review their notes within 24 hours of taking them. This is when the brain consolidates memory, and review is as important as the note taking itself. But here is a word of caution. Sometimes children get very involved in making it aesthetically very appealing. They are notes. They don't need to be aesthetically super appealing. Skill number 4, breaking down multi-step project. Middle school introduces long-term assignments, research papers, science fair projects, book reports, and presentations. These can feel overwhelming. The skill is not just completing the project, it is managing the process. Teach your child backward planning. Start with the due date and work backwards. If a research paper is due in 4 weeks, break it down into the steps. Choose a topic. Conduct research, create an outline, write a rough draft, revise and create a final draft. Assign specific deadlines for each step and put them on a calendar. Teach the difference between macro level planning and micro level execution. Macro level planning maps out the weeks and deadlines. Micro execution is the daily work. 5 hours, 4 hours after school, how are you planning and what are you doing when? Spend 30 minutes researching. Spend 1 hour writing 2 paragraphs tomorrow. Introduce chunking. A huge project feels impossible unless broken into small, manageable pieces. Help your child identify the smallest possible first step Opening a document, writing one sentence, finding one source. Once that first step is done, momentum builds up. Teach them to anticipate obstacles. What might get in your way? A busy book, a busy week, a lost book, a confused instruction. Stay ahead of that. How will you handle these challenges? And resist the urge to rescue. When your child procrastinates or underestimates the time needed, let them experience the consequence. A lower grade on one project is far better teacher than a parent who steps in to save them every time. Skill 5, very important. Managing multiple teachers and expectations. This is one of the biggest academic shift in middle school. In elementary school, your child had one teacher who knew them deeply. Now, they have 6, 7, maybe 8 teachers, each with their own roots, own grading policies, homework expectations, and personalities. Help your child develop a system for tracking what each teacher requires. They should write down not just assignments but also specific instructions. Does this teacher want work submitted online or on paper? Do they prefer a specific formatting? Do they accept late work? These details matter. Help your child understand that they will have different relationships with different teachers, and that's normal. Some teachers are warm and nurturing, some are lenient, some are strict and formal. All are good. The skill is learning to adapt to each style while still showing respect and effort. When your child struggles with a particular teacher, listen with empathy. Then gently guide them towards taking responsibility. Ask, what have you tried so far? What could you say to this teacher to clear things up? You are their coach, not their advocate. Do not jump into sending a mail. The goal is to teach them to navigate adult relationships on their own. Middle school is when these relationships start. Step number 6, choosing activities with intention. Suddenly in middle school, you will find a lot of opportunities and options. It's perfect time for your child to explore different interests without the pressure of high school competition. This is a true season of discovery. The goal is not to find the right activity or build a perfect resume. The goal is to try things, see what sticks, and learn about themselves in the process. Encourage your child to explore a range of activities: athletics, art, music, theater, debate, MUN, robotics, community service, language clubs, or anything else the school or community offers. Middle school is a safe place to be a beginner and discover hidden talents, but resist the urge to overschedule. There is a difference between exploring and overloading. Your child still needs downtime, sleep, and family connection. 1 or 2 meaningful activities that they genuinely enjoy are better than 5 that feel like obligations. And let your child choose. I know it is tempting to steer them towards something you loved or something you think is important or will look good on a transcript. But when a child chooses for themselves, they are far more invested. They learn ownership, commitment, and intrinsic motivation. Those are real gifts. Ask open questions. What sounds fun to you? What are you curious about? What would you like to try that you have never done before? Follow their lead. Support their exploration and trust that even if they try something and decide it is not for them, that is valuable knowledge too. Skill number 7, commitment, teamwork, and handling disappointment. Again, a big shift and transition. Once your child has chosen an activity, they enter a world of new learning. Some of the most important lessons have nothing to do with the activity itself. Extracurriculars teach commitment. They teach that showing up matters even on the days when they are tired, even when they did not get the part they wanted, even when their team lost. Commitment means honoring their promise to themselves and to others, to their team members. It means finishing the season, the performance or project, even when it is super hard. It teaches teamwork. In almost every extracurricular, your child has to collaborate with others. who have different strengths, different personalities, different working styles. They need to communicate, compromise, and support one another. These are essential life skills that cannot be learned from textbook. And these skills is what gives character to your application as well eventually. And perhaps the most important, how to handle disappointment. Your child will not always make the starting lineup, win a competition, or get the lead role. And that is valuable. When your child experiences disappointment, be present, acknowledge their hurt. Do not try to fix it or explain it away. Sit with them. And when they are ready, ask, what did you learn from this? What did you enjoy? Even if the outcome was not what you hoped, what might you do differently next time? Remember, these moments are not failures, they are lessons in humility, perseverance, and perspective. They are the building blocks of character. Skill number 8, balance and rest. This is perhaps the most overlooked skill of all. Academics and extracurriculars are important, but they cannot come at the expense of your child's physical and emotional health. Your middle schooler needs a sleep. They need unstructured time to daydream, play, be bored, simply be, fiddle, walk around the house. They need time with family, time with friends that is not scheduled or supervised. They need to know that their worth is not measured by their productivity or achievement. So protect their downtime. Model balance in your own life. Notice signs of burnout, irritability, withdrawal, declining grades, physical complaints. When you see these signs, have the courage to say, let's take a break. Let's drop this activity for now. Let us simply rest. There will be time for intensity later. High school and college will bring their own pressure, but middle school is a season of growth. And growth requires both effort and rest. And here is the long view that I want you to take away. Middle school academics and extracurriculars are building a person. They are about helping your child discover how they learn best, what they are curious about, how to work with others, and how to handle both success and disappointment with grace. The skills we have discussed, active reading, study strategies, note taking, project management, managing multiple teachers, intentional activity choices, commitment, teamwork, and balance. These are the foundation. They matter far more than any single grade or achievement. So take a breath. Give your child room to explore, struggle, succeed, and fail. Be their steady presence. Celebrate their effort more than their outcome and trust the process. Keep showing up, keep loving them, and keep trusting that they are becoming exactly who they are meant to be. All the best.